content. So without waste of time, how do you create sexual chemistry? You could use your mouth seductively by the way you're licking your lips. Come on, don't try me. I'm bad in this game. Like, I'm sure you can't even see it. It's so mad, it's so crazy, and it's so intoxicating. You are making him work for it a little bit. It's more or less like you dangling the carrot in front of him. He knows that he's gonna get it, but he's not gonna get it really soon. But like, I know I have. Let me not just be blowing my trumpets. Flash him, but don't let him touch. Just bend. And make sure that you're wearing bra that, gives you that perfect cleavage. Bad girl. Ooh. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jane Lawrence and I come with a lot of juicy content. Okay, so let's get started, right? Now, have you ever just met someone and you automatically strike up a conversation, and halfway through that conversation you start to feel chemistry that's either so deep or sexual? Like, I know I have. And the funny thing is that it is so hard for you to control it when you're near them or you're speaking with them on the phone. There is just this magnetic pull, and it gets more intense, especially when you can't have them or you can't really act upon your feelings. It's so mad, it's so crazy, and it's so intoxicating. In fact, today we are talking about how to build your sexual tension with your love interest or maybe your crush. But first, you need to know that sexual tension develops when two individuals interact and one or both of them feel that sexual pull or that sexual desire, but the consummation is either postponed or it never even happens, okay? Now, I'll tell you what happens in this moment. You just find yourself straddled along the lines between, excitement and frustration. You see something you want and you just can't have it at that moment. So without waste of time, how do you create sexual chemistry with your love interest? Well, some people think that they could just try creating sexual tension by being overtly sexual. And yes, you might simply think that, wearing skimpy clothes or showing too much of skin, revealing way too much, and basically just flaunting what you have is the key to, creating sexual tension. The truth is, you could dress however you want, and in so doing, you might even turn heads, and the heads of those persons that you're attracted to. But that's not a great way to keep your man attracted to you, okay? Yes, it's hot and sexy in the moment and all of that stuff, but it's not a good way to keep a man attracted in the long term. And I am all about keeping your man attracted to you for the longest period of time. So while I think that dressing overtly sexy is certainly a great way for keeping your man turned on, it's not so effective, at keeping him thinking about you. And that's where the sexual tension is, when he's thinking about you all the time. Now, I would give you a better perspective or a better way at which you could keep your man attracted to you and basically hot for you, as well as, keeping him thinking about you. And that's by building sexual tension. And building sexual tension is literally 100 times more effective than just acting sexy. Now, before I give you some tips on building sexual tension, you also need to keep in mind that, dressing sexy or acting sexy and building sexual tension aren't mutually exclusive, all right? You could do both at the same time, but you just need to be able to differentiate between the two. Okay, so now you know that dressing and acting sexy and building sexual tension are two different things. Now, let me tell you that this thing called sexual tension involves you hinting at what you want and then bringing yourself to the brink of giving him some, but you're not fully going to give it all away. All right? But instead, you are making him work for it a little bit. It's more or less like you dangling the carrot in front of him. He knows that he's going to get it, but he's not going to get it really soon. But he just doesn't know when he's going to get it. All right? Because you're not going to play too hard. You're not going to play too long to give into it. Whether it be it in foreplay, whether it be it in making out, whether it be it in having sex eventually. Okay? So have this at the back of your mind. Now, this is what you can do to build sexual tension with your man. Number one, you have the tease master. Teasing him is a great way, a sure great way to build that sexual tension. So when you tease your man, you're saying something slightly suggestive with a slight smile on your lips, on your face. And your man knows that you're not entirely serious and that you're really just playing, all right? You can also use your body language too. You could use your mouth seductively by the way you're licking your lips, like so, you know, biting your lower lips. You see how chilled I am? Like, it's not obvious, but he's just making some sort of conversation with you, but you're just there looking at him. You could just play with your rims or your glasses if you're wearing one like mine. And you just smile. Or you could just playing with your hair. You're just playing with your hair. Oh man, don't try me. Well, I'm bad in this game. Like, let me not just be blowing my trumpets. You know, but I've never tried this on anyone, Sha. I haven't. I haven't, honestly, trust me. Or you could just playfully suck on ice. Maybe you have like, what's it called now? Chapman, and there are cubes inside. You could just pick the cube in and just put it in while he's talking to you, and look at him straight in the eyes. Like so. Or maybe you're licking lollipop. You know how to do these things, girls. I shouldn't be telling you. You know how to do these things, all right? Even something as simple as blowing a kiss can be really sexy, and it could add to, you know, some sexual tension right there. Like, you know, and if he's your husband in the morning, you're dressing up to go to work, you could just flash him, but don't let him touch. Don't let him touch, flash, but don't touch. And while you're dressing, you could just bend over, especially if you're wearing something very low, or if you're wearing something as short as mine, I'm sure you can't even see it. You could just bend, like, just bend your back facing him. But if it's a lower cut or a lower cut kind of dress, you could just bend and make sure that you're wearing bra that, you know, gives you that perfect cleavage. Because men, you have to learn how to seduce your man. If you can't seduce your man, a lot of chicks out there will be seducing him. Do you want that? Ha. You've got to be flexible when it comes to seduction. So when you do that, his head is going to go to various places, so many places all at once, like, okay, what is going on? Most especially if he hasn't touched you in a while. Now, basically, all you need to do is just you being able to find the balance between showing affection and using sexual innuendo. So if he picks up on it, then you know that you're proving yourself to becoming a perfect good flirt. All right. Number two, you need to take 2 steps forward and 1 step backward. That's how seduction is done. That's how you build sexual tension. And this is what I mean by taking 2 steps forward and 1 step backward. Now, a great way for you to build sexual tension is by you taking 2 steps forward with your man and then quickly taking 1 step backward. So he doesn't really know what you're up to. It's called unpredictability. Now, let me say I give you 2 examples. Example A is, you know, the next time you meet your man in public place, all right, get up really close to him. You could just whisper something naughty like, you would love to have him inside of you right now if you can. Then maybe you can just give him a kiss in the ear and just quickly change the topic. You will destabilize him. Anytime he tries to want to steer the conversation into what you just told him, change it quickly, all right? Change it. Don't even give him the inkling of the fact that you want to linger in that sort of conversation, all right? You keep his mind wondering, what is this girl up to? Why is she seducing me? What is she up to? And I can guarantee you that for that whole conversation that you guys will be having throughout that day or that night, his mind will not be there, all right? Your man will only be able to think about one thing. It will turn, and that's the thing that you've just whispered into his ears, especially when he's in a group of friends. The thing that you just whispered into his ears, that's what he will be thinking of, and it will turn him on so badly and infuriate him at the same time, because like, he can't have you at that moment. And that's just one perfect way to build tension with your man. Or B, let's just assume that you are in a rush to go somewhere, and if he's already your partner, you could start getting down and dirty with your man. You could either give him brains or just normal foreplay to get him rock solid. And when you see that he's halfway to, getting there, like he's about to explode, you just cut short. And then you rush up to the door. And then later on, when you settle in wherever you are, you could just send him a text message and telling him that you're sorry, that you couldn't finish up, that you just had to rush off, to work or wherever that you went to, and then give him a promise and hope that when you come back, you're going to definitely finish what you started. All right? You will really mess up his day, his entire day, because he'll be thinking of ways to get to you. And this, my darling, is precisely what builds sexual tension. Or C, you could send him a sexy text message, especially when you're apart or even when you're in different rooms in your house. Basically, just send him a naughty text message and you would just see him running like a baby to wherever you are in a part of the house or wherever. He would just rush down to you. Men are like babies. So if you just dangle anything in front of them right now that really excites them, especially sexually, they will leave whatever they're doing and come down to you, especially if they've not been getting some, or maybe you've been treating them really nice and they've never really had something as blissful as that from anyone but you. Do you get what I mean? Bad girl.